guys, I think we've entered unprecedented territory for Sega. Sega is not safe right now because clearly it seems like a lot of their stuff just keeps coming out, keeps getting leaked out and stuff like that. Apparently, we now know what the next Sonic remaster, potentially remake, might be. And it's going to be a game that shocks a lot of people. It's a game that a lot of people are pretty split on. I'm not even home right now, but I'm not at my setup with my high quality mic and everything like that. But I could not resist making news about this video because it's a big deal. I mean, it's one of the first Sonic games I've ever played. It's one of those games that I think is deserving of a remake and deserving of a remaster. And there's a lot of reasons why we can reasonably assume or expect this, and I'll give you the whole history on that. So, with that being said, please subscribe to the channel with all notifications for all things Sonic. We do everything Sonic here, like literally everything. I'll give you a second. And let's get into it. So we have to give you guys context and backstory. So yes, yesterday, as you can see right here, the trailer for a brand new Sonic game just straight up leaked out. This is like unprecedented stuff here. And this is, the thing why it's significant is because this game leaked out by a prominent, honestly, the #1 leaker in Sonic history. Midori leaked this game out like 3 months ago. So like we've known, or we've thought that we knew that this game was coming. It's just a leak, right? We treat it like a rumor. But now this is proof that this leaker's got sauce. They also leaked out the Puyo Puyo Apple arcade game, which also came out too. So now we can basically when this leaker talks, I pay attention more than pretty much anything that I would. So yesterday we got the big leak for the Sonic Toy Party, and now the same leaker is back at it again. But these initial leaks actually don't come from Midori. They actually come from Zippo. I know it's a name that a lot of people hate hearing in the Sonic community. And for me, I think Zippo has got some things correct in the past. To me, it's like, this guy probably knows someone who knows someone who knows someone. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. And you're only as good as your sources are. So, they had a leak, and I guess we could talk about Zippo's leak real quick, which will piggyback into the remastered, remade Sonic game that's coming soon. This is like a conspiracy theory here, but it's all true. So without getting too crazy into it, Zippo said, "Goodbye Hedgehog engine, hello Unreal Engine." Basically, what he's saying is, Sega is having a big year, blah blah blah. I don't even want to read all this stuff. I want to just cut all this out. Essentially, what Zippo is saying is that Sega is moving away from Hedgehog Engine 2, or at least for some of their projects and some of their games, and they will potentially be moving to Unreal Engine 5, which I think is a little bit more industry standard. And I feel like a lot more developers are on that. I don't know nothing about this. He says, in fact, a full-on Unreal Engine 5 powered remake of a big, important, seminal 3D Sonic game has entered production at Sonic Team recently. So recently, a new 3D Sonic game remake has entered production. Now, he says it's going to turn the fan base up, down, and all around. Yeah, of course. So, he didn't say which game it would be, but he left a list of games to kind of give us a hint. So, he put the obvious SA1 and SA2, which these games deserve a remake, in my opinion, especially with the movie coming out and stuff like that. One of the other games he put, Heroes 06. There's no way they remake 06. That doesn't make any sense. It's such a poorly received game that it's like, why would they remake this game? I don't see any, from a PR perspective, I don't even understand why that would make sense. And Sonic Unleashed, a game that's kind of stuck on older hardware as well, but probably more accessible than a game like Sonic Heroes. Out of all of these games, I mean, 06 is pretty inaccessible, but I would say this game right here, Sonic Heroes, is even more inaccessible than 06. I mean, it's like a toss-up between the two. Which game makes more sense to remaster? Sonic Heroes. And that brings us into our next leak with Midori, who is the GOAT of Sonic leaking. I know a lot of people don't like and don't trust Zippo, but listen, if Midori talks, I shut up and I listen, alright? So here's a tweet that sets everything off. It says, "Zippo is crazy, dog. Don't get me wrong. He is a fraud." If people were saying stuff like this about me on the internet, I'd be pretty sad, man. You guys are crazy. He says, but he isn't 100% wrong all the time, and I definitely agree with that. He did say a Sonic and Shadow game was coming. He was wrong about the details, but I feel like for someone to correctly predict that there was a Sonic and Shadow game coming, even though it wasn't exactly what he said it was going to be, I feel like he has some sources that know something, right? But anyways, it says, wouldn't it be fire if all these games came, right? And this is, he's talking about the article that we talked about. And then Midori responded, and look, this is the person that correctly leaked out the Sonic Toys Party game 3 months ago. So when they talk, we listen. It says, this is almost correct information. Sega Group wants to move most franchises to Unreal Engine 5, but other engines will still be used on case-by-case basis. The upcoming Sega IP remakes will be in Unreal Engine 5, including Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio. There's a tweet right here, and I'm not sure what this says because it's in Spanish. I think it means, will Heroes be played in Unreal Engine 5? I really don't know. But here is the thing that's setting everybody off. Look how many, this is getting a lot of engagement right now. It says, this is correct information with the picture of Sonic Heroes. But he says there is not Sonic Adventure remakes right now. He did not say Sonic Heroes. So, that is setting literally everybody off if you look at the quote retweets right now. Pretty much everyone is saying Sonic Heroes Remake. Listen, I didn't really understand the exchange between the two, but it looks like it actually is confirmed that a Sonic Heroes Remake is coming. I cannot be more excited for this. I'm definitely happy that a Sonic Heroes Remake is coming. I think out of all the Sonic games that could potentially be remastered, I've said it many times, this is probably one of the few games that actually makes sense. Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, I think are deserving because of just how old those games are and how cool it can be to see those games with a modern, fresh coat of paint. Not like a remaster like those Steam ports. I'm talking like fully ground up, modern models, just modern everything, you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, look at the sentiment on Twitter right now. Everyone is saying that a Sonic Heroes remake is coming. Midori has said that is correct, it's true. And it looks like it's going to be remade on Unreal Engine 5. This is a game that is near and dear to my heart. It's actually the first Sonic game that I've ever played. I think that it's a game that's definitely true to the spirit of Sonic. I mean, I think it's like an evolution of like the Sonic formula. It stays true to the classic games. It's one of those games that I think the general audience could probably receive well. The problem with the game is probably the lack of polish and some of the slipperiness with the controls. Imagine a Sonic Heroes that functions completely well, and you know, if it's a remake, imagine a Sonic Heroes where they alter the control style. Maybe Tails controls differently, the flight characters. Maybe Knuckles has a glide or something like that. Maybe it's true to like the original vision of the game. What other Sonic game is more deserving of a remake other than this one? Sonic Unleashed doesn't need a remake. If anything, it just needs like a remaster. It needs 60 FPS, which it already has, but it probably just needs upscaled resolution because for the most part, you could ship the game. Problem is with Sonic Unleashed, it got a 60 on Metacritic. Why would they remake a game that already failed with critics? Sega does not like to remake things that fail. If a game fails, they completely abandon the mechanics. Sonic Heroes is one of those games, you know, technically scored higher than Sonic Frontiers, and it's only a couple points off of Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, which are two games that already got remastered. I think what they'll probably do is, you know, go by the Metacritic score. Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, I feel like those are the babies for Sega, especially Takashi Iizuka. Like, those are two games that are near and dear to his heart. So, Sonic Heroes was a nightmare for him because he, like, almost died during development. It's pretty crazy. So, the way I look at it is they're not going to remake SA1 and 2 until, like, it's completely 100% guaranteed to be good because they don't want to mess that up. They still got to get Generations right. But just by using process of elimination, SA1 and 2 they'll probably save for a more special occasion. You know, it could have been good time to do it now, but obviously they're not going to do that. Generations was a safe play. Colors they already did. Listen, Heroes was the only one that made sense. We know that Sega wanted to do remasters and remakes of all their games. I've talked about this several times for several years. So let me know what you guys think about this. Are you hyped for Sonic Heroes to be remade?